Yo, this is Cheza, and with me, as always,
Shep.
it's this is the Shot Club podcast. You might think it's a casual fan, but it's not.
Actually,
But
Shot Club. It's Sunday.
Sunday, it's the shot day. But truly, it's like casual fan and Shot Club's pretty much been the same thing all the way through anyway. So, you never know what the future may bring.
You never know.
You might just be a tag team forever and ever and ever.
I actually just watched the Mick Foley biography, and I watched
Yeah.
most of the Shawn Michaels one until we started.
All the biographies? Okay, yeah, I gotta go look into that. I was actually looking to see if that, well, before you do anything,
Casual fan podcast.
not even, this is Shot Club now. We run this shit.
I'm plugging the wrestling stuff.
We run this shit. That's just another episode. That's just another episode now. There's no differences. What is this shot for?
Oh man, legends.
The Legends. Les Legends. I'd say how was your week, but pretty much talked to you all week.
Pretty much.
So I know most of your week. I don't know if we don't have to get into that. We're just getting into conversation. So what has piqued your interest this week?
This week, some battle rap stuff, man. A lot of battle raps, a lot of events. When you're starting to see the numbers people are battling for now, it's like it's ridiculous. Like
as in getting paid or as in views?
I remember, like, I can't remember who exactly it was. It might have been Mook. I mean, he was getting $5,000 for a battle, and people were like, "Yo, you're lying. Nobody's seeing $5,000 for a battle."
Right.
Now, next week is going to be the finals for $100,000 battle tournament.
Oh, it's $100,000 to the winner, or okay. That's kind of different because that's sponsorship, or you could get sponsorship. I'm not sure if it's directly through their company, but with the right sponsor, Drake
put that money up. He's actually, I think he's hosting.
He's hosting.
That's what I saw.
And does it have to do with caffeine as well?
Yeah, it's on caffeine.
Bro, so Drake didn't even put the money up. Drake didn't even put the money. Drake said, listen, I'll give you guys money, and you guys take care of this. They said, cool, thank you, Drake. Drake went over to caffeine. Yo, I need $100,000 for this event. They're like, okay, Drake, whatever you need. And he's just the middleman, just here.
Yeah, but
he's a good middleman to have.
Yeah. He's dealt with he's dealt with URL. He's dealt with RBE. He's dealt with KOTD.
Yeah.
So he's in the loop. Like
him and Mook had their goal back and forth, which didn't turn into anything.
It should have been. I heard why it didn't make sense with the way, because Drake was at one of the events. And
yeah, it was in Toronto, right?
He basically said, like, I would battle you, but no. This was URL. This was on URL, and he was on stage, and they were talking about him and Mook, and somebody who was down with the top guy with Smack kind of nudged him and said, tell him he's gotta go through Sue Surf before he gets to Mook, or before he gets to me. So it was kind of like he was kind of giving them an alley-oop, I guess, to kind of build up, but like, why not just have that main event?
Yeah, right away. Like Drake's not gonna sit there and go, yeah, I'm gonna go for the underling. Like I go to the boss, like only.
He's like you battle him and then you come see me.
Yeah, you go talk to my little man right now. You go talk to my little man, and then maybe you can come talk to me.
But
while you're the number one artist in the world. But you're not the number one battler, so that doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. That's a good little lane, though. Caffeine is doing their shit, actually. I remember getting those emails so long ago. Caffeine. It was like Pocket Live. Like, it was just like, that's pretty much how I found caffeine, because it was Pocket Live. And that was when I was actually looking into other ones that we could use Pocket Live. So then I found Caffeine, and I saw it was pretty much kind of like the same thing. Well, I didn't really sign up to it. I really jumped into it.
They made
And
it pretty.
Then I heard
It's
Drake.
basically Pocket Live, but it's prettier.
Pretty much. Like they just took it the next step. You know what I mean? Like Pocket Live didn't make it.
And then they have certain so there's levels where you can participate. So if you're in the comment section, you can pay to do like little graphics. So you're buying gold coins or credits, and then you can use those credits for different reactions to stuff like that.
Oh, okay. No, the same thing like Pocket Live. Remember, they used to give us all the different reactions. You would have little coins, and they'd throw us coins and shit. Yeah. I remember. It's the same. They're pretty much same setup. And it's still a .tv, right? Just like Pocket Live was.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But yeah.
I miss Pocket Live.
Talking about Drake, I was listening to Take Care this weekend. The album.
Any particular reason?
Actually, me and the wife, we were cooking some food.
She's okay.
Remember when we used to drive and listen to Drake? I said, she's like, "You want to play that album?" So I played it. I said, "No problem." It was a moment. Okay. But yes, so in listening to it, remember when Drake used to be like really open about like his family and shit? Like I was listening to it and he was talking about like something like dad still got his foot out, Gail tripping. And I'm like, yo, he's going. And then he was talking about how he moved his mom all over the city, but no matter where she went, she's still talking about she's lonely now. She's still lonely, and all that. So just talking about all that, I'm like, it's been a while.
Is that
since Drake has been that open?
Is that Over My Dead Body?
I believe so. Yeah.
The opener.
Yeah. But it's even that. It's been a while. He's been that open. Like.
Drake knows how to start an album.
Oh, definitely.
Great.
But do you think he can get to that? Do you think he can get to that openness again?
It's possible.
Because
Jay did it. Jay did it late in his career too. Like
the 444.
Yeah, like he did it around like end of Dynasty, Blueprint. He didn't do it again really until 444.
Right.
Maybe lost one on Kingdom Come, but not in the same way he does on Blueprint 444.
So with Drake, it's like, what would he talk about? Like, I think the only thing that he can talk about now in that vein would be his kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, it goes back to that line. He was trying to, is he going to be open with the way him and his, you know what I mean? Like his interactions with his kid as much as with his parents, or not? That's what I was wondering. I'm like, can he still get that open again? Like, because if you think about it, it's been a while. Like, I don't say he was been riding on like, he's been making like pretty basic Drake music. You know what I mean? Like topic wise, it's nothing crazy. It's about a girl, an ex or something, trying to get her back, or about the times they used to have, or something like that. Or it's about money and people hating, whatever. It's just pretty basic, like cut and paste Drake now. But he doesn't go back to that early stuff where that's when people liked him. Like when he talked, like when he was able to rap personal shit, people were like, holy shit, like he really rapped that. But it was like very introspective. I don't know. I was wondering, listening to the album, I was like, damn, can he actually get back to this?
Yeah, you have to give him time to live too. You know, it's like Jay said, you put everything into your first album, and then from the first album to the second album, you're not going to get as much because you haven't lived as much in between albums. So you may have to give him some time. Give him time to live. I mean, Rakim always said, like, when I feel like I can't write, I put the pen down and I live.
Yeah. But Drake drops an album, what? Once a year?
No.
Or once every 2 years?
He hasn't done that in a minute. Probably every couple of years he doesn't.
The last album he dropped was what? The one with Future?
Scorpion? When was the last one Future?
I don't know. Let me pull up this timeline because I feel like he drops like once every year. Or once every, well, no, not once every year, but every year he'll drop at least a song. He'll at least have that one song
his presence
that
will always be on the charts. Like there's always a feature. There's always, a collab. So
if you go from the beginning, So Far Gone 2009. Thank Me Later 2010. Take Care 2011. Nothing Was the Same 2013. So this is, I feel like, where he would start going into like every other year. 2013, Nothing Was the Same. If you're reading this, it's too late. 2015. Views 2016. More Life 2017. Scorpion 2018. And this doesn't even have the Certified Lover Boy supposed to come out this year, but this doesn't even have the
so he was dropping Succession at one point. Yeah.
Do they count it as mixtape? Oh, okay, compilation albums. Those aren't compilation albums. That's so rude. The Young Money albums. Oh, Care Package. That was 2019.
His Lost Tapes.
That's the Lost Tapes. Scary Hours, which was
The
3 songs, I believe. That was 2018.
Yeah.
The Best in the World pack, which was another Lost Tapes, really. I think it was a bunch of features that were put out that he didn't really do anything with. So he just put on this album. But anyways, that's 2019. And then Scary Hours 2 was 2021. Oh, so the future one, What a Time to Be Alive, 2015. And then 2017, we said it, right? More Life?
More Life.
And then the Dark Lane demo tapes, 2020. So at least every year he drops something. So maybe that affects his
possibly
content as well. Because if you keep, you know what I mean? Like, you don't give yourself, like you were saying, like you don't give yourself enough time to live.
More
you
Life.
Just go on song. And he has the album called More Life. Like, you'd think. But, I don't know. This next album's supposed to come out soon.
Yeah. I haven't heard any updates on release date, but
didn't he drop a single, I believe? Damn, I believe he just what's the latest single he dropped? Maybe. I feel like he did drop a single that just dropped. Not just
it was
next? Yeah, what's next? No, that was on the Scary Hours.
Yeah.
Oh, Laugh Now, Cry Later with Lil Durk.
Oh,
that's the one on Certified Lover Boy. So that's just another. That's like what's the song that he did where he went to Miami and gave away money?
God's Plan.
I take Laugh Now, Cry Later just like that, but an updated version.
I didn't know that God's Plan was his biggest seller.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought
God's Plan's his biggest song.
I thought Hotline Bling would have been his biggest
you think so? Yeah, you think so. I know that one. The joke is, what's it called? What's that rapper? What's his name? Trippie Redd or something like that. He was supposed to be on that song.
Mm-hmm.
And he fucked himself some way. He didn't show up to the studio or something. And Drake was like, all right. So when the song came out, he was like, and now knowing that it's Drake's biggest song, bruh.
Yeah.
Pockets must be feeling empty.
Lola says, summertime.
Yo, the weather's all right. Oh, are you gonna take in that fight today?
I am.
Mayweather versus Logan Paul.
I've got time tonight, and I'm off tomorrow.
So, I want to ask who you got, but then that's kind of like I feel like it's a stupid, redundant question. How do you think this will go?
I think it'll go like any other Mayweather fight. I think he's gonna play rope a dope. He's gonna be the best defensive fighter we've ever seen. He's gonna wear him out, and then he's gonna pick the bones.
How many rounds you give it?
I don't see it going less than 6.
How many rounds is it actually?
8. It's 8 round fight.
Okay. So that's different.
I wouldn't be surprised if it went to distance.
Because McGregor was supposed to be 12, right?
And they went to 10.
10, yeah. So yeah, I can see it.
He was gonna wear him out.
He's a showman. He's very much a showman. Like after watching him and McGregor, when he did the McGregor, I was like, yeah, this guy's just a showman. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. If Logan
Paul
hits him at all,
it's gonna be bad.
it's gonna laugh. No, it's like remember when Connor hit him and he took it and he's like, all right, yeah, okay.
No, if he gets a body shot by this guy, it's gonna affect him. He gonna feel.
You think Logan's tougher than Connor?
No, I'm saying if he gets a good body shot. I think if he gets him good in the side, give it to the gut, could change things. But you got to hit him. You got to catch him to hit him.
That too. Let's see what this guy's size is, Logan Paul. He's at 189.5. Mayweather came out 155. So he has at least 44, almost 45 pounds on Mayweather.
Wait, what's the weight? What's the weight again?
155 Mayweather, 189.5 Logan Paul.
It's 30-pound difference.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
So almost 35. But yeah, still. That's a lot.
It's a decent size difference right there.
30 pounds coming behind a fist.
And he's younger.
It's true. How many fights has Logan Paul actually had? Have you actually taken in any of these Jake Paul, Logan Paul fights? So you didn't watch the Nate Robinson?
Only Jake and Nate, which was hilarious.
Oh, actually, did you see that? Who was he supposed to be taking? Jake Paul. He has another one lined up. I believe it's with Hiron Woodell or something like that. Hold on.
Oh, yes, I did hear about that.
Woodley. Woodley. Yeah. So he's a real boxer, right?
Mm-hmm. He's got some training.
He's a real boxer. He's not MMA. Has he done anything professionally big that you know of?
I'm just casual fan here.
He's not even. Oh, okay. He's actually a former UFC champion. That's what I was asking. I thought he was an actual boxer. I thought he was a boxer.
No, but he's more of a striker.
Right.
So he has background he has boxing in his training.
Yeah, I still think that's like for an MMA fighter to do just boxing. I feel like it's almost a handicap for them because when you're fighting MMA, every part of your body you can use. You know what I mean? So if you've trained hard enough, it's not even you're thinking about it. It's instinct now. You know what I mean? So when you see an opening, it's just like kick. And now you got to tell yourself, don't kick. And while you're telling yourself, don't kick,
this guy
you're fighting somebody who just punches.
Especially if you're Mayweather, you're the greatest defensive boxer ever. You're pretty good at reading people. You're pretty good. I mean, I remember watching something on Pee Wee Kirkland. He was I guess commenting on Iverson crossing up Jordan. Okay. And he said because Pee Wee Kirkland, he was this he's an OG street ball legend. So he'd been crossing up people from like the 70s and 80s, right? But he said as he's watching the tape, he's like, I know what's going through Iverson's mind when he crosses up Jordan the first time. And I know what he's thinking the second time he crosses him up. So it's like when you've done it that much times, you could read people. Like if you're watching somebody who's probably in his mind and thinking he's trying to hold back certain instincts, he's like, oh, this guy was confused.
I know exactly what he means. Now thinking of that move, because that's when I was into ball heavy. So you watch it, Iverson, boom, hits him once, sees the shake, and he goes, "Oh, I got him!
I'm gonna get you again."
Oh, yeah. He looked, he's like, "Oh, I got him!" And then, da-dum. And then he really hit him with the jumper. And once he put that jumper up, in your head, you're like, "This better go in. This better go in." Like, you know what I mean?
Do you think it's more disrespectful that he went for the shot or that he could have gone for a layup?
He had to go for the shot, man. He had to go for the shot. Like that move is you cross it up, boom, shot. That's like.
But imagine if he left him in the dust and even looked back a little when we went out.
It's true, but
yeah, I get the shot. Don't get me wrong, I get the
like
shot.
maybe like as you were saying, yeah, it is a little more disrespectful. It's more disrespectful to take the shot.
I've seen guys cross guys up and then look back. Just you're over there, and then just continue. I always wondered why he didn't go for just go in, but the shot is so much more high risk. If you don't make that shot, then like part of the crossover appeal is.
But true say, being a guard, that top of the key shot, that's money to you.
You have to hit that.
You have to hit that because that's your shot. Like if you're like point guard at the top, usually one dribble, that's that move right there. One dribble pull up, one dribble pull up. You know what I mean?
If you're Ben Simmons, you can't say that.
No. There's always a difference. There's always a difference maker.
He is the exception and not the rule.
What is the shot for?
Just disrespect. Warranted disrespect. Speaking of competition and disrespect, B. Dot from Rap Radar put out a list. A tweet. He said the top 10 best rappers of 2021 so far. See in December.
Okay.
And the list from 1 to 10 goes: number 1, Lil Baby. 2, J. Cole. 3, Lil Wayne. 4, Conway the Machine. 5, Benny the Butcher. 6, Drake. All right, B. Dot. I just caught on to that. Well played, B. Dot.
God.
7, Freddie Gibbs, who's like close to my number 1. 7, Freddie Gibbs. 8, Nas. 9, Jay, predictable. And 10, Jim Jones. So Jim Jones responds and he says, I didn't make this list, but tell B. Dot this list is cute. I'm gonna start chopping this list down one by one. LOL. Matter of fact, put me in the booth with any one of these artists and let's do it live. See who's left standing. That's how we can really settle this shit. Like the Westerns, shoot the booth up. Making music is fun too. You got to go head to head. I love competition. Anybody want to rump with me? He said rump, but I said rump.
Yeah.
I couldn't say anyone that want to rump. No, anybody that want to rump with me, let me know. Besides the competition, we can make a serious bag, turn this into an NFT, and everybody walk away with it with a bag like Floyd Mayweather fight. Y'all let me know if any one of these artists accept the challenge. I'm ready.
Let me get this list up so people can see it. Get this list up. First things first. Here's the list.
First.
You gotta know. Do you are people in agreement with this list?
I don't know enough of Lil Baby's music to say that. I've heard of his skill. I can't say I've really checked a lot of his stuff, but from what I heard, he can really rap. So I kind of have to take his word for it on that. Cole just dropped, so I guess album's pretty dope. Now, how much has Wayne done this year? Has he put anything out this year? Because he says
he did the track 10, with Drake and Nicki.
Top 10 best rappers of 2021 so far. So what has Wayne done?
From what I know, Wayne 2021 was just that one verse.
Conway and Benny, I think you could flip either one of those. I think they're almost interchangeable skill-wise. I think Benny's a little bit better. And they drop stuff out of the blue. I still haven't listened to the latest Benny one.
Okay.
Drake has put out 3 songs this year? A song? One song?
You said Drake was the one with Lil Durk, and then that Scary Hours one.
Yeah.
What's next? So, okay. And then the
All
one
right.
for with Khaled, so the Grease song and whatever was on that Khaled album, the two that he dropped. One he sounded like The Weeknd, another one.
Okay.
So then 7, Freddie Gibbs.
I think me personally, Gibbs rap circles around most of these guys.
But this year, like the music you heard this year, not just
This
in
year,
total.
this year was. I don't even think he dropped this year. I think
So I
he
feel like
dropped
this
end
is
of
what
last
they're
year.
saying. Like these are the best
Alchemist.
rappers this year of
I don't think
2021.
the Gibbs and Alchemist was last year.
Yeah, I believe so
And
too. Yeah.
and so like I don't know. He's one of my favorites recently. So I know he put out the last two projects was the one with him, the Fettuccine, with him and Alchemist, and then the one before that was him and Madlib.
Madlib. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, like what does he drop this year?
And then Nas and Jay-Z, they were both on the Khaled album and on the DMX album.
I haven't heard
Is
anything
that what
from
they're? I guess
I
that's what they
haven't
bank off of.
I haven't heard enough from either of them this year to say they're in that category, but I guess you kind of have to. Fights, Kevin, what up? Fight starts at 9, I believe.
I believe it
So
starts at 8. I was watching the thing and it was like counting down to 45 minutes. So I think it starts at 8. I
now
feel
is
like
that the pre-show
more likely.
or fight?
What up? What up?
Thanks for joining, though, Kev. You have enough time to watch this and then watch the fight. We got you.
But yeah, this list myself, Lil Baby's dope. I don't remember hearing anything from him this year, so I wouldn't put him first. My first out of this list alone, would probably be
But
J. Cole.
we didn't even speak on Jim Jones. Jones just put one out with Harry Fraud.
Yeah.
I think that was the last one. So yeah, and that was a dope project. But he wants to do this live. He's like, yo, well, let's do it live on stage. I guess like a versus thing. I guess he's trying to set up versus type of battle.
Yeah.
Hey, go for it and do it. NFT, make some money out of it.
He put an album out called The Fraud Department. I guess album with him and Harry Fraud.
Yeah, dope project.
Yeah.
What up, Zion? Kean. I'm drinking. Kean, what's up? Kevin, thank you for joining. Lola, thank you for joining.
What up?
Favorite 90s rapper? Is that a question for us?
Bro, favorite 90s rapper? Yeah. Did we ever speak about who's the rapper that you were truly like introduced to hip hop? Like, or who's like the first? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like the first rapper that really got my attention, which is funny as fuck, is Father MC.
Okay.
That album, Father's Day, I believe, I don't know if it's the first tape I bought, but it was the first tape that I rocked consistently.
Now, was that because of a music video you saw?
Yeah.
And
Off
is
that
that
one
the one?
song. And then
Is that
that
the
whole
one that's got a certain background dancer in it? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I like the song and even the album. I was like, yo, this is fucking dope. I was fine with this. But yeah, that's just the intro. What's your favorite 90s rapper? That's such a long like list of artists. You know what's funny? That was like the first name that came to my head, but I'm like, there's so many names. But Method Man was like one of the first ones that like, yeah. Snoop Dogg, actually. Snoop Dogg. Mine is Snoop.
Okay. The same way people look at Drake today is the same way they looked at Method Man. And you can say the same thing for Snoop. When they first came out, like that was the person all the guys wanted to be and all the girls wanted to be with. Like there was no bones about it. Like those were two of the like if there was social media back then, it would have been dangerous.
Especially Snoop Dogg. Kevin said Ice motherfucking Cube. That's
I'm not
a
mad at
wicked
that.
choice. Listen,
I'm not mad at that at all.
Cube was sick, bro. Like that
I
was
like. I might be one of the few people that like the "It Was a Good Day" remix over the original, and I love
Good
the
Day
original.
remix.
I love the
Hold
remix.
on,
I
break
like.
down this remix.
You've never heard the remix?
Mm-mm. You gotta break down this remix. Maybe I did hear it, but I'm like, no, I do not
Yo,
remember this remix.
to quote Cheza, nigga, I'm gonna send it to you.
But
I'm
who's
gonna
on
say
the
I can't.
remix?
I'm pretty sure you've heard it. I'm
It's
pretty
not
sure you've heard
clicking.
it, but
But
yeah.
who's on the remix?
No, it's just him. This is when the remix
What's the
is
beat
just.
though? They didn't change the beat.
It's more happy. It's more upbeat. You know what?
Okay, okay.
Who used the same sample? I feel it was somebody from DTP used it. It might have been Ludacris. One of the songs he had, they used the same sample.
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to you though. And I'll find the Ludacris one.
And Kevin, he still is sick. When he came on stage at Jake Paul's fight, I was so pumped. Cube is Cube. Like people have their issue with Cube because of the whole Donald Trump thing. To me, I didn't care. I'm like, Cube
You
can't
have
do
to
wrong. I'm like, Cube can't do wrong.
you
Cube
have
can
to
go talk to
understand
whoever he wants to.
you have to understand what he was trying to do.
Exactly. There's that too.
It wasn't about it was going to the people that were going to be leading America. Like, hey, whoever it is, this side, I need to talk y'all about what's going on in my community.
That's it.
I need to talk to you. That's it.
I felt no way. I'm like, yo, let Cube be Cube.
It's like y'all do like up until this point, you're gonna tell me you're gonna not trust Cube?
But are you waiting for a Cube album?
No. I will say this. I look forward to that Mount Rushmore album.
Oh, the Mount Rushmore. That's Cube, Too Short, E40, and Snoop, right? Interesting.
That's gonna be nuts. And they got a track with Dr. Dre.
You'd think he'd be the main producer, but there's a lot of producers out there they could use, though.
Listen,
not even to knock it, because there's a lot of West Coast producers that can.
Look at the 4 people who are on this list. Do you think they're gonna wait for Dr. Dre?
Yeah, that's true.
Snoop's been putting independent albums out, like independent albums, since like 01, 02.
Who's it? Battle Cat? Like, I feel like Battle Cat's gonna get pulled out of the mix. DJ Quick is gonna get in there.
They can get Battle Cat. They can get 1500 or nothing. They can get Quick. They can get Fred Wreck. They can get all these new cats. I wish they'd do something with what's his name? Was it Mellow Man Ace's son? I'm saying it like he doesn't have a bigger name than his dad. It's either Mellow Man Ace's son or Kid Frost's son. He did the I Wanna Rock. And
I feel like I know who you're talking about, but it's not in me.
What's his name? He did I Wanna Rock. He did Slow Down for Fat Joe. I'll find it.
Kid Frost's son.
I think it's Kid Frost's son. I could be wrong.
Scoop. Who? You talking about Scoop DeVille?
Scoop DeVille.
Yep. Yo, he's been like a Snoop mainstay, Scoop DeVille.
Years. But there's like me, I have certain West Coast producers that I just want to see work with, like do whole albums with. Like I'd love to hear Fred Wreck do a whole album with like Crondon. Hey, Crondon. People forgot Crondon was a full-time MC at one point.
What was their team? They were I want to say
Strong Arm Steady.
Yeah. Who was why am I like Golden State something?
You're thinking of Golden State Warriors. That's Razzcast, Exhibit, and Saphir.
Okay.
And they couldn't use that name.
Yeah. I remember that. That's what I feel like they changed the Warriors part. I don't think they did.
They were supposed to come out on Exhibit's label.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'd love to hear
how heavy were you into West Coast music?
Oh man, my first rhyme, I bit Mac 10 style. I bit Mac 10 style for one verse, and I bit Louisville Slugger from OGC style for the first verse. Weird, right?
You gotta figure it out though. You know what I mean? Like you gotta figure out your lane. So
this is 97.
It's a testing ground. You gotta keep testing until you figure out which one's yours. But that's funny.
For a lot of my early stuff that I listened to, like I listened to a lot of different stuff. Like I listened to a lot of different, like when I didn't know much about Coast and when the East and West Coast beef was like, I was just like, I don't understand any of this stuff. But I listened to.
I was all in that. I was like,
I just didn't.
Yo, sorry, cut it off. Remembering, listening to songs and knowing exactly what they're talking about. Like you're listening to this song, and if like, I forget what song they're talking about. When Nas mentions the TVs in, is it Nas mentions the TVs in the headrest, or Jay mentions the TVs in the headrest, and Nas knew it was a diss to him. You know what I mean? And as a listener, I'm sitting there like, oh shit, he just dissed Nas. Rewind. Like every song, you'd be able to pick what's going on and see what the fuck. Like, yo,
it took me a while to get there.
That I was so deep into like every word. If this person said something that sounded like this, I was running over to this next album like, yo, I swear he's talking about him. I did it to the point of what's it called? What was Cardinal's last album? The one that was like based off like Mardi Gras or something like that.
Oh, I know. I can see the cover in my. It's like an oil painting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But what's the song? No Reason. That song, I still think it's a Drake diss. I still believe that song, No Reason, is a Drake diss.
So does competition still exist? I asked it in the group chat.
Oh yeah.
And David was like, nah.
It doesn't. I don't think it does. Or like, because the way society is today, it's more passive aggressive. So everybody now, they're like, yeah, we're cool. But at the same time, it's like, no, I'm not inviting him on a song. No. But he won't say that it's because I don't want him to body me. You know what I mean? Like they'll do things like that instead of going straight up like, bro, Nabi. You know what I mean?
290721. Yeah.
That's how David should think. David's always like, yo, people don't get me on songs. Maybe they're scared of you, sir. Maybe they're afraid of you.
It's possible. I like when it's competition and you know it's not like it doesn't have to do with anything outside of it being competition.
Like playing basketball. Like I can go play 1-on-1 today. Let's go play 1-on-1. Boom, boom, boom. And after we play 1-on-1, we can go home and have a drink. Like it should be the same thing with rap. Like all it is, it's like a debate. Like being on a debate team. You know what I mean? It's like we all have the same amount of words to use. We all do. We all have the same. If my vocabulary isn't as large as your vocabulary, that is not your problem. We all have the same dictionary we can find the words in.
Yeah, and it's not just that. Maybe I just say them better.
But there's that too. It's all about, so now you know all the words. How do you say it? Because someone like, it's all about speeches.
What's the right
there's a reason why the presidents, there's a specific way they talk.
Can't do this.
You know what I mean? Exactly. You can't do this. So they do the thumb. They make sure it's a specific cadence. Like they pause where they have to, you know what I mean? Same thing with rap.
Science to it.
When you rap a flow, like there's a reason in the 90s we worried about having our own flow because it showed your skill level. If you flowed like him, but he's better than you, guess what? He's better than you. It doesn't matter. Like, but if you flow your way and he flows his way, now you can leave it up to be subjective. Where it's like, well, some people feel him more, some people feel him more, some people feel her more, whatever.
That's why I like.
They don't have that anymore.
That's why I like battle rap for the most part, because when they're doing battles that don't have judges, it's like it's purely speculation. It's purely subjective. Like you can say there's so many people when you're watching battles, like when I'm watching it on Caffeine and you see the comments, and you're like, oh yeah, they know that person lost. They just don't like that person. Or they like this person so much they don't want to see them lose, so they're gonna
They just try to play it off, give them reasons or whatever.
But I mean, what's better than fan interaction? So as long as people are engaged, does it matter? Like Kanye and 50.
But some people don't like to be on the losing end. They don't know how to lose. That's a big thing for a lot of people. They do not know how to lose. So it's like they lose and then they're like, what do I do next? Oh, it's the end of everything now. And you're just like, it's not that serious, bro. Like
it's just like when we talk about wrestling. You're given a platform, you're given TV time. What are you gonna do with it? Win or lose? How many people lose on like Brooklyn Brawler?
Brooklyn Brawler worked at WWE for how long? WWF, WWE.
How much money did he accumulate over the course of his career?
Tell me, how many matches he won?
Well, that's what I'm saying. How much money did he accumulate over the course of his career? And how much, like, he
and tell you the truth,
a draw.
Brooklyn Brawler was one of my favorite wrestlers because he was from Brooklyn. Because he was from Brooklyn. I loved the Brooklyn Brawler. When that dude came out, I knew he was losing, but I was like, yo, give him some hell, man. Give him some hell. Don't make it easy, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as you're like, as long as you're a draw, like, does it matter? Can you parlay whatever happened afterwards? Some people can tell a story after they lose,
but some people can't. Some people can't take that L. Like that's
the
biggest reason there's no competition. Fear of L. If we're gonna go back to even that conversation, the reason I heard Drake and Mook didn't happen, which is like the big rumor out there, is that Drake's manager is like, no. If you take this L, it is gonna affect who you are, like your businesses. It's gonna drop you down. So no, you can't take this battle. That's why I thought it was in Toronto, because I swear I heard that like even Drake was a little tipsy too. So when Mook said something, he said something back to him real quick. And then they said they were going to talk about it later, and then later never happened. And then you heard the manager was just like, nope, that is not happening. Not happening at all.
I think it would do more, like if I'm just like looking at the whole thing, if I were to speculate on why, I would say probably more so because of what it's directly connected to. Like battle rap is super, super, super toxic. So
yeah.
You know, if Drake is at an event on stage with the stuff these guys are saying, yeah, I don't think certain companies are going to come around.
It's true.
Like his image, it just doesn't match with his image.
Well, that's the thing. It used to. Hold on. Does it have to do with image? I feel like an Eminem. Eminem doesn't care what level you're on. He replies to you. You know what I mean? But like a Drake will look at you and be like, you're not worthy of my time. You're not worthy of a response. Almost like Jay-Z. Rest y'all niggas, you get half a bar. Fuck y'all niggas. You know what I mean? It's like some people just don't deserve the time.
But I mean, like him being in the battle rap arena, I don't think you could. There was one battle rapper, that guy named Tay Rock. I don't know if you heard about him. He had a Ariana Grande bar, and she responded to it because he referenced the night that her show got shot up.
Oh, okay.
So somebody tagged her in a video, I guess, a clip from the battle. So I don't know if that's like, and that's like the more tame thing. Like there's been other bars that went way, way far where people had to like the battle rapper couldn't go to the city.
You're saying like,
he had to apologize on camera because he said that. So
you're saying with a Drake, you're saying like with a Drake, when he has to respond, he can't respond to people because they might be too. It's like it affects like your image now, like to respond.
No, I'm just saying that like him showing up and being in battles and rapping in a battle, right? on the same stage as a guy who may, with somebody else in another battle at the same event, may say something that may be anti-homosexual.
Right.
Like some of these guys go super far with those bars.
No, they do. They do. But Drake can control that if he's on an event. He could have that controlled. They can try him, but if they try him, like in that event, that can affect them in the future. Especially if Drake is on the event and he has certain people that are like, or certain sponsors there.
I look at it the same way I look at it as a roast, like a comedy roast. Comedy roasts are revered, but there's a reason why, other than like the Comedy Central ones where they pretty them up a little, those real Hollywood roasts, you'll never see them. You'll never see them on camera or something. Maybe YouTube you might, but it's because of that. And those like those are
Drake.
Super,
but if the event was for Drake, they wouldn't even worry about that because Drake's the event anyway. So everybody under him, you really don't matter. So you would follow whatever guidelines they give you to be on. I feel like it's like the Total Slaughter.
Yeah.
Like when you watched it, it was like it wasn't what battle. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't battle, but you can tell they were trying to clean it up for TV. That's what I mean. So if Drake was at an event, they would have to do that for a Drake at an event. I just mean like even him responding to like a Pusha T or pushing like into anybody. It's like people don't compete anymore. Like competition isn't there anymore. And it's like
I like it when there's a story behind it.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a story behind it in some like friendly competition. Go for it.
To compete, should they be on the same level? Should they have to be on the same level?
It's got to be somewhat competitive. It's almost like this Logan Paul and Mayweather thing. Like, you know, like, yeah, they're both in the ring, but is it really a fight? He's got a puncher's chance, so it could happen. You know, like
right.
It's always interesting because there's the
let's say like
chance.
Right, I don't know. Say like Roe versus Joe Budden. Do you feel they could match up? I just say them because he loves Joe Budden. So if you say no, I feel like I can watch that video in slow motion and see exactly where his heart breaks.
Roe and
Joe Budden, like Roe versus Joe, like
Joe?
Even though like technically popularity wise, they're not on the same level. To me, I'm like they can rap. They both can rap.
Yeah, it depends on how you pose it too, like, or how like what's the story that gets me into Roe versus Joe Budden? Like, what is the story? Like, it could be something that ends up being, oh, okay, now I can see why that would make sense. You know, not necessarily who's the bigger star, but
like if he says anything to Joe, if he just put out a track going at Joe, should Joe like? I always hated the response that like, yo, that's little. Like, you're too little for me to respond to. Or, you know what I mean? Like, those things. I've always hated those responses because I'm like, I thought rap is like competitive. Like, if someone's like, yo, I feel like it's basketball. If someone's like, yo, I'll bust your ass a 1-on-1. If right now I got my shoes on and I got the ball, let me just bust your ass real quick. If I think, you know what I mean?
It's time too, right? It's time. If I'm Joe Budden and I've got a podcast network. I'm beefing with my former employees.
Yeah.
You know, there's all this other stuff. Oh, now this guy throws a track at me. Like, it's got to make sense for me in the end because I'm going to end up spending money going to the studio, getting it mixed. Like,
I flip it. How Drake treated Joe. Even how Drake treated Joe. Joe was ODing though. Joe dropped like a freaking mixtape full of diss tracks to Drake.
He did 4 songs, and I think each of them were like 5 minutes.
Didn't he do 7 songs? I believe there's like 7 songs. There's 4 main ones. Okay. I believe there's like 7 songs in total that he put out there. Just because I was like, but
like 5-minute long song. You have to remember, like a 16 bar verse is gonna be what? 50 seconds.
It's a Joe Budden song too, so it's not a regular 2-3 minute song.
Joe Budden, regular 16 will take you like maybe 50 seconds to get through. Maybe 45.
Not Joe. Joe gives you 32s. He gives you 332s. 332s every song.
Good
Joe is no joke.
grief. I remember when Beanie Siegel and Memphis Bleak did 1,000 bars, and I was like, as much as this is dope, this is excessive. Even back then, I was like, that's excessive.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to spit 1,000
Yeah,
bars.
when Game did that, he's like 100 bars. I was like, no, I'm not listening to that. That's just too much.
or when Game was dissing G Unit.
Yeah.
And it was like 300 bars. Like
yeah, he went from 100 bars to 300 bars. I'm just like, if you can't get it done in less than that, I'm sorry. You're not getting the job done.
Efficiency, man. Rap, to me, rap is about efficiency. Certain songs make sense going 100 bars. I get it. Sometimes if you have if I take one of my favorite MCs, right, whoever it may be, Elzai, a Roots album, Black Thought, if there's one song where he just goes off for like 3 or 4 minutes, I get it.
Can do it. I'm okay with Black Thought just spitting for 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes.
I get it. I just don't want to hear. Every time I hear you, it's like you don't know when to stop.
That's Joe Budden.
It's not about, to me, it's not rapping for rapping's sake.
I remember when Joe Budden, like his first album, I believe it was the last track, and he was smoking a cigarette while rapping, and the track was 10 minutes long. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I've never heard somebody just rap for 10 minutes long. I'm like, this shit is crazy.
It's like, what's the
then,
purpose?
How much album after that? No, but that was the first time. So I was like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, when some people like to be experimental and try to do something new. So that's how I took it. I'm like, 10-minute song. I've never saw someone go 10 minutes and just rap. And I don't even think there was a chorus. He was just rapping. So I was like, yo, this is pretty dope. Like, this is a show of skill. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right. Then the next album, then he did it again. And I'm like, what the fuck you keep doing all these long songs for? Like, we don't need this that many times. And then it became like a Joe, like vintage Joe. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, Michael Cole.
Yo, you know exactly where I was going. Vintage Joe, all of a sudden, 10-minute song, 10-minute song.
And if you don't get that reference, Casual Fan Podcast Thursday nights.
Tune in, you'll hear that. But yeah, I was just like, man, yeah, he went too far with all that. Rose on that too. That's why I don't know, he loves Joe Budden, because he can do like a 10-minute song of just rapping.
Yeah, but Rose not excessive with it.
No, he hasn't done it in a long while.
He's not excessive with it.
He likes to do that. If you give him a space, if you're like, yo, I need a feature, if you give him a space that has 32, and you don't realize you gave him a space with 32,
oh, he's taking it.
He's taking the 32. He's taking the 32. And when you come back like, oh, my bad, the chorus was supposed to go in there. He's like, well, I can't cut my verse.
Too bad. Too bad.
I can't cut the verse. Sorry.
Have you ever been asked to edit your verse?
Yeah.
How did you respond?
I didn't record it. I didn't do it. Like, I don't know.
I'm not gonna ask you who it was. How long ago was it?
So what it was for like a feature thing, right? So the space he gave me was like 16, so I wrote a 16. But then he came back, he was like, oh, it's supposed to be 12s. I was like, oh, but I'm gonna need 16. He's like, just put it to 12. I said, all right. I said, you know me, I'm not arguing. All right, cool. And that was it.
And that was that.
That was that. All right, cool. I just let it be. He asked me, he was like, oh, you're gonna get the verse? And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Am I gonna get 16? And no, they're 12. So I said, all right, cool.
If I already made it make sense.
No, I'm not cutting back, man.
Oh no.
No, that's not. All right, what's it? Jordell. I did that to Jordell actually. He gave no, I didn't cut his song or anything like that. But he gave me a track. He gave me a track, and he was like, all right, after the chorus right there, that's your verse. So when I check it, it's fucking 32 bars. I was like, so does this guy want me to do 32? I'm like, is the space 32? I was like, fuck it. Like, okay, if he wants 32, 32, whatever. Like,
wait, so you didn't go back and clarify first?
No. So I was like, okay, like he said, go after the chorus. I said, okay. And after the 32, the chorus came back in. So I'm like, this must be it. This must be it. So boom, did a 32. So when I sent it to him, he's like, what the fuck? I was like, you said you need the feature, and the space was like 32, so I gave you a 32. It was like, well, it was only supposed to be 16. I said you gave me all the space. Like, if you want, it actually works out because I wasn't sure. So I'm like, I kind of worked it out where if you need to put a 16, it could end at 16.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like,
Okay.
if you want to cut it at 16, you can end it at 16. I've worked it out where it's right there. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, no. But the 32 is running. Like, perfect. Like, perfect. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So let that be a lesson to anybody. You give somebody a track, make sure you tell them how much you want, or they will take what they want.
Give them the specifics, because
100%.
Yeah,
Because
you got to clarify with those.
And that's another way just to be like, it makes.
Because I do not want to go back after.
Exactly. It's just like, you know what? Forget about it.
And that might not be a good thing. Because being able to adjust should be something we should be able to do on songs. It's just that, like, especially if I've already put my all into it. Like,
yeah, you made me vibe out. Like, I did everything. Like, I vibed out. I sat there. I spit it back. You know what I mean? I did what I did, and then you're like, oh, okay. Like, if you're like, whoa, Ches, it's a PG song, no swearing, or the topic doesn't really match the thing, that's not a problem to me. That stuff, I'd be like, okay, cool. I can run that back. You know what I mean? Like, that's nothing. But if it's just like, oh, we're going to take this out of it. That's why I was like, you know how they say Kanye West, the way he works? It's like they just kind of leave it to him, and then he comes back and he like chops the shit up and does this and that and the third. And you might have wrote line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and you come back in line 3 and line 4 before line 1 and 1, 2. You know what I mean? You do shit like that, and you're like, what's going on?
You know what it's funny when you hear these Kanye stories because, like, have you ever heard T-Pain talk about Good Life?
No, I don't think so. Break that.
Okay, so for the Good Life joint, he said he brought him to the studio. So T-Pain goes to Ye's studio, and he just had him do like a gang of choruses, like a gang of just vocals, like a whole bunch of vocal takes, right? So he leaves and he doesn't hear the final product. But then they go to shoot the video. T-Pain still hasn't heard the final product of the song. So now he's at the video shoot and he's got to do this video and he's learning the song on the fly of what he did the last time he was there. And he did a gang of takes. So it was like stuff that he thought was the bridge ended up being the chorus. And then parts that he thought was this ended up being in the outro.
Right.
And he's just like, I don't remember any of this stuff. Chris Martin from Coldplay kind of said the same thing when they did a live performance when he did Homecoming. He was just like, I don't remember the song because, you know, I didn't hear it. You didn't let me hear the final song. Now we're here performing it. And it's just like, now I got to learn it right before we go on.
Okay. Let's take a shot.
Let's take a shot.
What is the shot
the eccentric brain of the artist. So yeah, this card did start, but there's 3 fights in the undercard. So
as usual, like you don't expect this shit to happen right away, like
no.
So more times it's really gonna play about, let's
10:30.
say, exactly around there, nothing crazy.
Who would you like to see on the stage? If Jim Jones is like, I'll take on any one of these guys out of the 10 in the list. Who would you want to see Jim Jones on stage with, going back and forth with?
Like,
I'd love
honestly,
to see him and Conway, or him and Benny.
I'd have to listen to the last shit he listened to or the last shit he made because.
No, Jim Jones is rapping.
Is he really?
He's rapping.
Okay.
If you want to hear like a really good Jim Jones album where he's like, You remember when you first heard Jim rap? When was the first time you heard
Yes.
Jim Jones rap? Because I remember the first time I heard him rap.
Wasn't it Confessions of Fire? Yeah.
Me, my mom's, and Jimmy.
Yeah, me, my mom's Jimmy. Yeah.
He was
And
cool.
then he was all right. He was like Jimmy, like you know what I mean. And then even when it moved over to Dipset, all that shit, he was all right. He wasn't crazy. You know what I mean?
He wasn't that. If there
And
was
then-
any of the three you were gonna pick, it would either be Jewels or Cam.
Yeah, Joel
wasn't-
Cam,
Jim
JR,
wasn't gonna.
even J.R. Ryder. If you're like, yo, I need someone to rap, you're gonna pick J.R. Ryder before you're gonna pick Jim Jones.
El
And Jim
Capo.
Jones came out with Ballin'.
And even then, he wasn't that great, but his songwriting was a lot better. His structure was good. He had pop shit, but now he's rapping. Like he's this El Capo album from 2019. Him and Heatmakers. Heatmakers did the whole album.
Oh, nice.
He is rapping, and that's the album where I'm like, okay, this guy's a problem now. So yeah, I would like to see him on stage. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Benny go back and forth because he's not rapping with Gibbs. He's not rapping with Gibbs. Nobody on that list is rapping with Gibbs.
You don't think so? I was taking some Freddie Gibbs. I really haven't taken it. You know what soured me on it? Jeezy. Jeezy soured me on Gibbs. So I love Jeezy, and then they had their beef, and I was just like, I ain't listen to no Gibbs.
See what I tell you? What I tell you about the caffeine battles? It's the same thing with the caffeine battle. Oh, you like this person more than that person? All right, I get it.
Gibbs is just disrespectful and rude, man.
But he's just when you think about their styles, like the way their styles are just completely different, you wonder what the attraction was to sign him. Because
I just assume it's the street shit. It just like someone like Jeezy being a street dude or whatever. And in the rap game, you would want to rap like Freddie. You know what I mean? Like voice, like even though Jeezy's voice was rough, like Freddie has that voice. You know what I mean? And then the way he puts the words together, and then even the attitude that Freddie Gibbs has. You know what I mean? Like as a street dude, you just like look at Freddie, you probably just like, I love that attitude. Like that whole vibe. I love that vibe.
If I'm Jeezy, Jeezy's got like I didn't like Jeezy when I first heard him. When he first came out, didn't like him. I was just like, oh, here we go. We're lowering the bar for lyricism. I was super like underground shit, but I still like commercial stuff. But it was more so like, all right, they let another guy in the game who cannot clearly rap. And is super basic.
Jeezy for what he was. I was in university.
Got one of the best voices, best ad-libs, best structures. It picks the right music all the time.
And actually, if you listen to Jeezy albums, like how you said Jim Jones got better every album, Jeezy did that.
Yeah.
And actually, I was like, I respect that he's not just coming out like the first album. You're just like, to me, I was like, I'm in college. And when they bump the Jeezy Go Crazy, when we're in the parties, that shit is fire. Oh, you know what I mean? I love that shit. So I was that's why I took Jeezy for Jeezy.
My heart broke. And that's another thing. That was a personal bias too. My heart broke when I heard Go Crazy. Because at the time, I had a song with that sample. And I was just like, oh. and like, when you're a kid, you're not thinking of all, like, the fact that there's super levels to this shit. And, like, it really has nothing to do with you. You're not.
Oh, man.
But when you have nothing and you have this song and you're like, this song is gonna do something, and then someone who's got the Def Jam label behind them, you're just like, I can't have anything.
You gotta take.
I got nothing to myself.
Nah, you gotta take those and be like, I'm on the right path. Because I remember when we're in college, Dwight was working up this sample, killing it. We're planning like boom, ready, yo. We about to this song, like this sample that I don't know where he found it, but the shit fire. And we turned on the radio one day. Beanie Siegel, I will feel it in the air. We're like, what? We're like, yo, that's we can't use the sample now. We can't use it.
Yeah,
now.
like when you're a kid and you have no knowledge of the business, you're just like, yo, I am screwed now. Like, There's nothing I can do now. Like I
But it's
can't have
also this
anything.
generation. It's also the generation that we come from. It's like they've already used it. Like our
Yeah,
generation, like they dip into the crates on
bruh,
purpose so that when they find something, other people got to look at them and be like, "Hold on, where
bruh,
did you get that? Where did you find that? Don't worry about it." You know what I
bruh.
mean?
When I tell you, I came home from work and I turned the TV on to Rap City, and I saw that video and I heard the set because it was Go Crazy wasn't the original video. It was something else.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it
yeah,
went
yeah,
into
yeah.
Go Crazy, right? And he had Ghostface in the video. When I tell you I heard that and I picked up the phone and I called my producer who's overseas. So this is a long distance call. This is before like
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Before.
yeah. And I couldn't he didn't pick up, so I had to leave a message. And I'm almost on the verge of tears. Like it's done, man. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. Also, there's an interesting video. I think it's Kev on stage. Kids don't do this anymore. They do this
Oh yeah,
for the
yeah.
phone. It's hilarious. If you watch the video, it's hilarious.
It's so true.
But yeah, I'm on the phone and I'm leaving him a message, and I'm like, it's over. It's over before we even started. It's like there's nothing we can do.
Has that ever happened to you with a verse or a line that you wrote?
Nothing I put out. There was one that I did that didn't come out, and I said two lines, and the way I wrote it and said it, I heard it in an Elzai song maybe 10 years later, and it was exactly the same way I said it, and he said it.
Yeah.
This line and the way he connected it, and I was just like, "There's no way we like how did we
On the
both
same
think
wavelength? Yeah.
those two lines is very specific. The way he said it from one to the next is like that's scary.
Yeah.
Like I wrote this in
I have nothing that crazy.
and it's been in a vault, and this guy does it and says it, and it's the same thing.
That shit happened to it happened to me lately with Drake, but it had happened to me back in the day with Fabulous. It was very upsetting with Fabulous because this was when I was into my like gangster shit. So I can't remember what the line was, but it was like something about shot to your chest, turn your white tee to the Japanese flag, or something like that, right? And I'm telling Ro like, yo, and he's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, maybe like a month later, Fab drops an album and the freaking verse is there. He's like, yo, isn't that your line? I said, what? I can't use it now. I can't use it now. But I'm like, at least I'm on the right path, I guess.
I don't know how many of the newer artists feel that same way, but it is a deflating feeling, and it's one of those things where it's like you're just like looking at the person and just dropping it in the garbage bin, like thanks.
And I've been sitting on a line that I'm like this line it's kind of corny. I feel it's really corny, but I was trying to use Putin in Russian. Okay. So whatever I put in, I'm not Russian, something like that. You know what I mean? Corny as fuck. I'm just like, I was trying to work in. I'm like, I don't like. It's not working out right because it doesn't sound good. Like, and then Drake put in a song, it sounded good.
Hey, it's about the way you do it, man. It's the way you say it, the way you set it up.
I said I didn't set it up right, and it took me too long to get to it. But yeah, he said it, and I was just like. Some like his was easy too. It was like I get in what I put in. I ain't Russian. I said, "Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. I've been sitting on this shit for so long. I've been trying to work this shit for so long, and you just say this, asshole."
You could have been just like Nelly and said, "I ain't from Russia, so bitch, why you Russian?"
Actually, that was in the back of my head, and that's what made me sit on it so long because I remember how corny that shit was.
I'm glad you didn't.
I remember how corny that shit was. So that's why I'm like, nah, man. If I work this right, it has to work out right. It has to be a double entendre. It has to be what I say about Putin makes sense,
Yeah.
And then you know what I mean? It has to be double. Like, so if you heard it one time, you're like, oh shit, he's talking about this situation with Putin. Or like, man,
I'm gonna send you a battle. I'm gonna send you a link to a battle. And there's a guy named A Ward. He does this one scheme where it's like 8 bars, and he goes like this, and then he stops, and then he takes the same reference and he goes backwards to where he started.
That's sick. That's dope.
And it was nuts. It was a sports reference and everything, and then he stops. Then he says, "No way, I said this," and he goes back all the way back, and he's just like, basically
using
doing
the
it in
same
reverse,
references, but in reverse,
but in a different way, and then going back to the beginning of it. It was nuts.
That's sick. Yeah. Send me that.
Yeah.
Seeing those type of shit, like it reminds me of, remember like back in the day, Alphabet Slaughter. Hey, it was just dope. You know what I mean? Like when Papoose did it, Black Alicious did it. When they all did their own thing, it was like it was just dope for them just to be able to use it in that way.
If you listen to a lot of Genius's old stuff, labels,
Mm-hmm.
labels.
I always look at that like that's like a lyrical exercise. Like they're just like practicing pretty much.
He did another one that
remember
was all
Jay-Z
magazines.
22 Jay-Z 22 twos.
Yeah. Even 50 Cent's 21 Questions. If you look back at it, it's 21 questions.
It is 21 questions. He actually, yeah.
But when you're listening to it, you're not counting.
You don't think it. Yeah, you're not counting. It's always cool to go back and you're like, stay true to it. You stay true. Like it really is 21 questions.
Yeah. I like that. I like when artists can take a concept.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's all about concepts. Take a concept, maximize it.
That's what makes it fun. It's like a movie. Like you're writing a movie. That's where my mind really is. Like trying to make movies now out of albums. It doesn't make sense any other way.
I mean, you have all these different outlets for music and business. Why not?
Why not?
Music, video. We've never been in a more video-centric time than we are now.
And access like a motherfucker too. So, like, this generation, it makes everything look like it's easy. You know what I mean? It's like, remember back in the day, like it was kind of funny. Like when I first got like my heat press, my shirt press, I was like, okay, finally I got one. Then everybody got one. I was like, oh fuck, man. It's so simple today. Like back in the day, the one person had a heat press and like he was the only one making shirts. You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to him.
You gotta
he knew
go
all the styles. He knew all the vinyls. He knew everything that you needed. Now everybody can do it. Anybody and everybody can do it. That's just the way our generation now is. Like everybody got a camera. Like people don't even have to buy a fucking big camera. They just use their phone.
I remember when I was living in Bermuda, I used to borrow a friend's video camera when I come back here. So me and my boys used to shoot videos. I have the video over my shoulder like this. You know, you have to remember put the lens back. You have to remember to like recharge the batteries of this. Like it was a different time. Like now you have
you have your phone. As long as you keep it steady, you're fine. Get yourself a stabilizer. You're fine.
It's not like this anymore.
It's like not even like that. It's like this. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Like people don't even hold their phones anymore. I was thinking about that. Like my son was like touching my phone with his sticky fingers. I was like, yo, I gotta put that to my face. Then I thought about it. I'm like, no, I don't. I have Bluetooth headphones.
But it's a good way deterrent.
Yeah,
to stop you from doing it.
But yeah. Anyways, time for our last shot. Oh, what's this one too?
Innovation and artists everywhere.
Bum bum. Wow. All right. So again, I am Cheza. You can follow me at Cheza on IG. Yeah, just go on IG. Started TikTok, Cheza.Miller, or just Cheza Miller on TikTok. I've been starting my Cheza Quick Thoughts.
Okay.
Give them a little feed. Just if something comes to my mind, I'm just like, I'll share it. Like, I feel like I already forgot what I said. Oh, first one. All money isn't good money. Straight. And also, even like, you know how they tell you to play the fool so people don't take you, like, they don't see you doing your real moves?
Mm.
Make sure you're not playing yourself for the fool as well.
Facts.
A lot of people, they'll be playing themselves.
Facts plus tax.
So I might have to steal that hashtag right there. Facts plus tax.
I've been doing it. I used to use the emoji, the fax machine, plus
Then
and tax.
you add the tax. You add the percent sign.
No. I put the plus sign and then put tax.
Oh, just use the percent
Fax-
sign. The percent sign is tax. Only the smart will get it.
I put the tax part because some people don't even know what I mean when I put the fax machine part.
Hey, like I said, only the smart will get it. You can't worry about everybody.
True.
So it goes. But please, take us out.
Shot Club Podcast, Casual Fan Podcast. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified. Thursday, Friday, Sunday, we go live. Stay tuned because we may have changes for Casual Fan.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Stay tuned for Wednesday. For real. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Lowly, Keon, Kevin, big up, respect. See you Wednesday.
Lowly. Lola.
Lowly. Lowly Lola. Lowly Lola.
I said Loki. You said Lola.
Yeah, that's your fault. I blame you. Lowly Lola. He's always brooding like,
summertime.
What's wrong, Lola? I'm lowly.